Hello everybody, this is Dan, aka Timid WF, aka Page Wizard, aka blah. This is a re-upload of an interview I did March 19th with Asbjørn. You can find the original video in the description. Be sure to check out his channel, he's been a long-time subscriber to this channel. And also, hope you enjoy this. I apologize for the audio quality of the video. Thank you very much, and have yourself a beautiful day.
Hello guys! We have come to this day where we, Dan and I, are making a video which is not created by a standard live stream, as some of you probably remember. We started to get in touch sometime in between 2009 and 10, as Dan was working on Mega Man Eternal. I remember seeing all of his videos, and I do remember seeing some promising gameplay. And I decided to contact him on YouTube by sending him a private message. Or messages, I should say. He kept on studying a lot. He was working hard with school assignments, and he tried all he could to get some time to get programming going on with Mega Man Eternal. For the first game, Dan was asking for feedback on what people thought about what they saw in his videos, for instance, from the game, like the boss fights and some kind of parts of the stages, I could say, and how challenging it should be. And a vast majority decided that it should be a rather difficult game. That's what I told him in the feedback in the comment sections on his videos. And I think I was one of them. Dan took the feedback with him, and he kept on posting videos throughout the years of his work. And he started early back in time, it's even earlier back than 2008. He started on Mega Man Eternal in 2008, it says on the game screen, but I think it's actually older than that. Mega Man Eternal was released at Mega Man's birthday in 2014. And that was 2 years after Mega Man's 25th anniversary. This year it will be the 30th anniversary of Mega Man. And I wanted to check with Dan on how he is doing with the work and when he expects it to be done. Normally a big group that works together like every day at an office, they can plan, talk, help each other out, and it's much easier for them rather than for a single fan game programmer, tester, and designer as Dan is. Dan has some big things going on with his normal job, and that consumes a lot of his spare time as well. We have come to some questions and answers for you, where I ask the questions and Dan answers them. We will try to keep it for like a maximum of 10-15 minutes from here on, approximately. So, Dan, what can you tell us about the progress so far in creating the game? And by the way, welcome.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing, Tor?
I'm doing good, thank you. And yourself?
It's going good. It's going good. I hope everybody's having a great day. So, anyways, the first answer your question there. Now, things are going well. They're it's going slow. I always have to do this between all kinds of things I got going on in the real world. It's always a fun challenge of balancing work with hobbies, with other things. It's sort of the fun of this, but yeah, no, things are going well. I've been posting video. Well, actually, I've recently posted a video showing Turbine Man's battle, which is excellent. But yeah, no, things are going. It's coming along. It's just a little slower than I'm expecting, but it's coming along.
Yeah, that's understandable with all the work you have, so I don't have anything against that at all in any way. But to say you just made a video of Turbine Man's fight, is that going to be the way it's going to be in the game, or will there be any changes to the fight, to the boss battle?
Well, this is one thing I consider rather important and one of the purposes of my YouTube channel. I'm posting all kinds of stuff on my YouTube channel, but one thing I've done over the years is I've been receiving feedback through my videos. So I tend to use that as kind of my feedback loop while I'm developing the game. So for instance, if somebody notices something that they think in their opinion isn't quite right, I'm more than happy, or people like it. I like hearing that things are well. Or I take what is said there and I try to apply to consider that feedback. I think it's a very important part of managing and developing a game is receiving feedback constantly. So I use my YouTube channel as a way to do that.
That's good to hear. The players may probably like you to describe the style of Mega Man Eternal 2 and tell them what makes it different than its predecessor, Mega Man Eternal 1.
Oh. No, excellent question. Now, this game deviates a bit from the first game, but it also has the same spirit. Now, in the first game, one thing that was really important to me is that, and this sort of evolved over several years. It wasn't just like, oh, I just decided to do this off the cuff. No, it was based a lot on the feedback I received. Is that when I first started developing, I was trying to make an exact engine. Then I thought naturally as I was going along, like, well, maybe I want to try something a little different. So I wanted to modernize sort of the platforming that was being done. So the game plays at a faster pace compared to the official counterparts. So and doing that, I had to manage and change how the game plays ever so. For instance, the physics operate a little bit differently. For instance, some people complain about the knockback. Well, the thing is, when you speed up the game, you have to be able to give people the opportunity to dodge things, you know? But I want to talk about the sequel in that sense. So the first game, it was supposed to be a modernization in some aspects to the classic way of the gameplay. For most people, it's not that big of a deal. Some people, like if you take your purists, they didn't really like that, but that's sort of the nature of the beast. The sequel, on the other hand, what I did was to accommodate somewhere about the middle, those that liked the changes, and those that didn't like some of those changes. I'm trying to find kind of a common medium ground between the two. So ideally what I'm doing is the game is it plays very much like if you took a classic Game Boy Mega Man game, and you took it and you made it operate basically what you wanted when you played it on the Game Boy game, except more like the NES game. So it doesn't have that bizarre lag just based on the Game Boy processing all of that stuff. Instead, there's no lag, and it plays a lot like the NES game. So in that sense, it's a fast-paced Game Boy-inspired Mega Man band game.
Okay.
So it's in the same spirit as the other one, except in this sense, it's actually very helpful. But there's several other things involved too. Like there's a lot of features that I could go into. I'm not sure if you want me to go into. Maybe we'll get there later.
Yeah, we'll get there later because we are planning already on making a stream. I can just say that already now in the video. As the people are watching this, we are planning on doing a stream sometime, maybe next month or the next 2 months sometime. We haven't set any date or anything, but we will definitely come back with a video in a good amount of time in advance. So then we can go more in depth on all of this. But it's more like just the standard Q&As I made. So for the next question, some gamers like a good story, or at least some story that keeps them interested in playing a game, to see how it evolves, how the stories occur different than other Mega Man games. So how is it that gonna be different?
Oh, excellent question. Now I first want to premise this is that for somebody to say play the second game without playing the first one, it should be possible from the way I'm presenting the story in this game. But to get the full experience, it's ideal that you play the first game. But for those that are just coming in, they want to just play the second one and say they want to maybe go back to the first one later, that's okay. The way I've sort of designed this is that it should be okay. And this game does stack on the story of the first game. So a lot of the premises involving the mega data, all of the events that happened in the first game, it's assumed that they've occurred, and this takes place a short time after the first game.
Yeah.
So short time adds in a few, I think if I remember correctly now, I don't want to say this exactly, if I remember it's 6 months, if I remember correctly, after the first game.
Really?
At least story-wise. But But no, the story is definitely far more developed in this game as compared to the first one. The first one was primarily a tribute game.
Yeah.
But it has a story, but it's kept rather simple. This one has a bit more story. So I really wanted to take all the bits from the first game and bring them in and stack on them so I could do something with certain characters and so on.
Are you thinking of doing a final cutscene, which is a bit different than in the fan service first game?
Oh, no, that's a very good question. Now depending on for how many people out there, if I did say a 100% completion on the first game, there was a secret cutscene in that game that if you get the all 100%, like everything, you all I believe it's like 110 things to unlock, and got all the secrets, and you go in and you do it. There is a secret ending in this game that does give you some information for the second game, but it's not required. Don't worry about that. But the main thing is that there are plenty of cutscenes in this game. I don't want to spoil anything involving the ending of the sequel.
No.
But it will. All I have to say is that if you're looking for something that's going to really tickle your fancy when it comes to memories you may have, and just really amping up the level of epicness, as I would say. I always strive for sort of an epicness with the kind of atmosphere I go for with big climax situations like, say, in the first game.
Really good.
Like, you'll expect something like that.
Yeah. We know from the first video being published 2 years ago. I thought it was like 1 year, and I had to check it 2 years ago actually. I was doing the voices in production and all of that in that video, like the voices of the names on the bosses and the characters. We got to learn that there's a new character named Ambient. What can you tell the people about Ambient? Who was she created by? Her arsenal will it be different than Mega Man's. And for instance, we have X and Zero in the Mega Man X series. They are very different. Do we see any kind of differences between them in Mega Man, like between Mega Man and Ambient in Mega Man Eternal 2?
No, excellent question. Well, we're getting a little bit of feedback, slightly.
Oh.
But no, it's okay now. I think it went away.
Hopefully.
Anyway, to the answer to the question. One thing that is rather interesting is Mega Man and Ambient have. Well, first, maybe I should talk about Ambient first for those that haven't seen that trailer. Ambient is a new character being introduced in the Mega Man Eternal 2. This robot was created by Dr. Cossack, a la Mega Man 4 on the regular Nintendo, and he created the robot, but she's been turned into a combat robot in the premise of this game. So now the differences between these two characters. Now I'm not going to go very much into the story because that's a part of Ambient's version of the events. Is learning a bit more about her character and where exactly she fits in the whole classic series, because she does find a spot in there. So if you're wondering, like, Ambient doesn't really come out of the blue per se until you first obviously play as her, but her story will develop throughout while you're playing. Now, the stories do not deviate a whole lot except for cutscenes and maybe the conversations, but the character's gameplay does deviate. For instance, say Mega Man or Ambient, they have 2 different weapon sets. So when you defeat a Robot Master, each robot will be able to provide 1 of 2 weapons. So Mega Man will get a weapon, and Ambient will get a different weapon. So at the beginning of the game, you pick one or the other, and they have their own weapons basically associated with each Robot Master.
Right.
But aside from wise, there might be some slight deviations, but I don't have anything to confirm aside from that.
Most people may want to know a bit about the game's difficulty. Are there any optional settings to make things easier or harder? And if so, in what way does it affect the gameplay?
No, excellent question. You have really good questions. The feedback now. The first Mega Man Eternal game it was designed to be a challenging fan game. It's not meant to be your first, like, if you're gonna say, oh, look out for, hey, tell Jimmy, which fan game should you play first, as in, like, easiest. Mega Man Eternal was not designed that way. It's a rather challenging fan game. It was, heck, I even used the moniker Wily's Ultimate Challenge as some aspect of it, just as my own conversations with the game. People really enjoyed the challenge, but in the sequel, based on the feedback I've received, people have been asking for different difficulty settings. So the game does have difficulty settings. It will change how much damage, say, for instance, you take, to how much, say, a weapon or life energy will restore for you, among other things. But also, one thing I'm introducing in this game, among many other features, is that there's a gameplay speed setting. So for those that want to play, playing at the pace of the NES games, for some may be like, no, that's challenging, well, smaller. So I thought I would compromise by making it so that you can have different speed settings. So there are at least a couple settings. In particular, there's a slow setting for those that say are a beginner and they want to experience something closer to more like the Game Boy's pacing. It's not meant to be in a replication, but it's rather similar. But yeah, so in that sense, you can combine these different difficulty settings.
That's cool. Now the final question. Now we are already past the 16 minutes in this video, so we're gonna try to keep this short. For mechanics and physics, some people thought that there were differences in the first Mega Man Eternal game compared to the series. May you explain how this game's mechanics and physics are compared to the first game that you created?
No, excellent question. I keep saying that. I alluded to this earlier, and actually I talked a little bit about it a little earlier. And based on the feedback I've provided, now keep in mind that I'm very much not the type to say, oh, a fan game has to be exactly like the official ones. I think that's rather naive to say, because fan games do not follow those rules. But official games may or may not. Heck, they even change their own mechanics. With the first game, I wanted to deviate and try my own thing, but based on the feedback I'd received from the first game, I decided I'm going to bring it back and try to compromise and make it a little bit closer to what the originals are. So, that being said, the game does play rather similar to the NES games, but it's kind of calibrated to what the Game Boy would. In fact, the easiest way to describe it is it's a Game Boy-esque NES hybrid in the way the game plays.
That's sweet. So, we have reached the 18 minutes mark already. Time has been flying a lot. Way too quick. First of all, I had a little bit long introduction, but I think it's good to have some backstory on why we are making this video. It's actually to talk about your next project and how it's being different than the first one. And a bit about the way we got to know each other and all of that as well. So people on Facebook that knows us, they may know us even better, because most of them will know either one of us. Just a very few knows the both of us. We can say that. Thank you very much for joining me for this Q&A. It's nice to have you online with me then.
No, thank you. I hope everybody that watches this has a great day.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
And also, probably this might be uploaded on your channel as well, I hope. So we both will be using the video. So it's also nice to be on your channel.
No.
Yeah.
No, check out Thor.
Yeah, check out Dan. Right there. Okay. See you all, people.
Yeah.